Blessings. What's good, fam? Coming to you today, this hair. To talk about menopause. I was going through some stuff, y'all. Vlogging, even though I don't have that many viewers, I try to support who I can support, and I don't get the same love back, but it's okay. I got to keep throwing it out there from what I'm told, showing your videos. It's my little Old Navy shirt, y'all. I bought, I think, last year or 2 years ago. Got my little silver on. I used to sell jewelry, so everything I have on, I used to sell. So these are probably like my daughter actually bought me this. This is a Tiffany bracelet some years ago. This is really good silver, but everything else, I used to sell this, the plain bands, the earrings, the ear cuffs. Yeah, that was me. My initials, I love selling initials. I'm obsessed with them. But anyway, coming to you, y'all see the streamers. It was my son-in-law's birthday a couple of days ago, and they just didn't take it down yet, so happy birthday. Yeah, menopause is why our elders never talked about it. You know what I mean? Like, they would say, oh, I'm going through change of life. Give me a cup of water. I know my grandmother used to say that all the time. And I remember being, it could be Sunday or Saturday night, and we're at grandma's house, and grandma's pressing her hair for church. And she always have us give us some water and ice while she pressing her hair. Girl, I'm going through change of life. I got to drink water and press my hair at the same time in order to get a little straightening out the hair. And I got it, but I didn't get it. Nothing was ever told to us. Like, this is what to look out for when you reach a certain age. Perimenopause and menopause. Like, I've always heard menopause, but the perimenopause, that was crazy. I'm like, wow, so you're in your 40s and you all the way up until whenever God says you had enough. Because there's no age requirement for perimenopause and menopause. And it's crazy. It is crazy. And I noticed that menopause hit me like, okay, I had a partial hysterectomy maybe over 10 years ago. So I'm only left with, my doctor did not remove both organs. She only removed one because she said the other one was extremely perfect and don't need to be touched. So I was good on that end. So she explained to me after the surgery, you're going to go right into menopause. And at this time, I was in my 40s, I believe. And I didn't. Like, I was on a weight loss journey. I just transformed into this amazing woman, like, because I was always heavy all my life, right? Just heavy. And then after I had my babies, I just got even heavier, and I went through a weight loss journey with that. I lost like 120 pounds. It was new because this was a new body that I wasn't familiar with, hadn't been familiar with for a very long time. And once I became familiar with this new body, I was literally living my best life. Like, I just was all over the place, just living, just doing G. I done took care of my kids. My daughter had left home. She graduated college and went on to be with her man. My son was still in high school. So, I'm there trying to support him and his basketball dreams at the time. And his schooling and being proactive with you know, being an active parent as far as like fundraisers and things of that nature, and still being a wife and still, you know, trying to do me, you know, and I really enjoyed it. I really regret moving to Atlanta. That's where we're at. We're in Atlanta. I'm sorry. It's like one of these light bulbs is about to blow out over the kitchen table. So, but the lighting still looks good. I, you know, was doing me, like I didn't have any signs of menopause. I read a little bit on it, but I kept it moving because I was just like, that's not me. You know, my hair was growing. I was growing. I had hips. I had a waist now. I was doing me, working, banking money, just being all over the place, you know. So, but I was already in perimenopause because now with this partial hysterectomy, you know, I don't even think I went into perimenopause. I went straight to menopause because once you have the partial hysterectomy, you no longer get a period. No longer get a period. So, I was in menopause, but I guess because I had did like the weight loss surgery and, you know, me losing the weight and my brain is all over the place and stuff, trying to figure out what is really going on with this new body, with this new person. Where's this? Where's that? That's supposed to be in the body. It ain't there no more, you know, and I was very active. I exercised 6 days a week, every day, 6 days a week. I was on it for years until I moved to Atlanta and all that changed. I gained 40 pounds since I moved out here. 40. Actually, now 35 because I think I lost about 5 or 6 pounds within a 2-week frame. Working on it, like this menopause, it's a little hard to lose weight. You know, it's not as easy as it was before. But I'm trying to stay focused. I'm trying to stay moving. I do feel the difference in my body as far as like aging and, you know, intimacy and this and that. And it bothered me for so long because I'm like, this is not who I am. You know, why can't I get up off this couch? Why can't I get dressed and go have a drink or something? Why don't I have the motivation to do me? You know, because I was that woman. I was on the go doing me. And I just, now that I'm finally realize why I'm not going through whatever it is that I used to go through. Now is a different change of life, different moves, different aspects of my life. It became so weird and it became overwhelming and uncontrollable. Like I could not control nothing. My thoughts, my emotions, my feelings. I couldn't control nothing. So I was bothered at the fact that I would bring these issues up with my doctor. Not that I have anything. The doctors out here where I live is trash. They're not giving me what up top used to give me. Like my doctor that I had when I was living in Jersey, I love her and I miss her so much because she was on me and she explained everything so thoroughly and gully to me. And that's what I like. I love a woman, a person, anybody who's open and honest, even if it's brutal, even if it's going to cut. You are honest. You could have sugarcoated that whole situation, but she didn't. She was never that doctor, right? But And I'm only speaking from my experience. I'm not speaking from nobody else's experience. I'm only speaking for Jerry. Okay. So there's a doctor out here that I've been seeing for about 2 or 3 years. And I don't know why I kept going to her. I guess it was because she's like maybe a quarter of a mile away from where I live. So it's easy access, but not really thinking like, geez, this is what you want. This is not what you used to. Why are you settling? Right? Why are you settling for this? Right? Because she's mediocre. She's not giving me doctor vibes. Right? So when I first went to the doctor's office is, you see dirt on the walls and dirt all around the borders of the floor in the waiting areas, and in the office, the patient waiting areas and stuff. And I'm just like, what the what is this is how they living out here? You know, it was just so, I wanted to ask her, can I come and clean your offices for you? I'll paint for you. It just felt uneasy, but I let it go. I would talk to her about things, and, you know, and all she would do, never once did she say, you know, Miss Holmes, let's run some labs to see, you know, your estrogen, your progesterone. I can't pronounce it. Let's see how all this stuff is working. Never once said you might be going through menopause since you're going through these things. Let's run some tests. You know who did that for me? My gynecologist. And I see my primary care doctor more than I see my gynecologist. And we had a conversation. And I enjoy that. I respect that. She sat down with me and we had a conversation. So now I'm in the process of looking for a primary care doctor. Someone with some better credentials than the one that I was going to. And she was my color. You know, we could be relatives. I just found out that, you know, 56% of me is Nigerian. Through Ancestry.com. DNA. That's what I was told. But it's really weird how we as women, you know, so secretive about everything, and, you know, not willing to share and not willing to explain, you know, why I'm not having a good day today, or, you know, why I don't feel like going out, or, you know, talk to a sister. Talk to somebody your age, your peers, who might be going through the same thing, if y'all just sit down and have a conversation. You know, and when I talk to my doctor, she's prescribed my GYN, and she prescribed some medications that changed my life. And had I not had the partial hysterectomy, I probably would not be able to take that medication. So I think, in my opinion, being that I did have the partial hysterectomy, it kind of eases certain things for me, as far as, you know, because, you know, with these estrogens and these certain medications they give you, you know, if you have all of your ovaries, your uterus, if you have all that, that could be a problem with taking estrogens and, you know, whatever else other medications come behind that. I'm not a doctor. I'm just speaking from my experience. Okay. But anybody who's interested in that estrogen and, you know, all those other medications that come with menopause, just have a conversation with your doctor and asks about cancers and this and that. What are my chances? And, you know, if I take this, and like I told the doctor, I do read, and the medications that you're offering me could develop cancer. So, you know, I told her, she was kind of shocked that I knew that. But, you know, I said to her, you know, I don't want cancer, but I do want to live my life somewhat, I want to have some type of normalcy with my life. I'm sitting there looking at my husband and thinking of everything that him and I have gone through on a negative spectrum. Negative shit, you know, and just was not liking him because of old shit. You know, and that's what menopause will have you doing. Menopause will have you not giving two flying figures. It just won't. I hardly cooked. I just a whole bunch of body changes and weird shit. You know, didn't want to cook for my husband. Didn't want to, I rarely cleaned. Washing my clothes was like a habit. Like my clothes had to be washed twice a week. It was important that I washed all my clothes twice a week. I don't know what that was about, and it's still like that. But I was weird. I was in a different headspace. I would come downstairs. I would get up, shower, fix breakfast, and sit in the chair in the living room all day until my husband got up for work, because he works nights. So from the time morning he gets up, I go shower, fix us breakfast, and I'm sitting in the chair on YouTube, whatever I decide to watch for the day, because I'm not working right now, because I wasn't in a good headspace. Like it was like I couldn't figure out why. Like, why am I going through this? What did I do? Why? You know, and I'm sure all of us 50 or 40 to 50 and over is figuring out, why do we have to go through this? Because it changes your life. It makes you not want to be anywhere. Let alone you going through hot flashes and cold flashes, and you're saying to yourself, there was one time, I live out here in Atlanta, and I was outside, and it was really hot. It was really hot, and in my mind, I couldn't understand why I can't deal with the heat. Like, I just don't want to be out in the heat. I need to be inside. I don't need to be out here. What is going on? You know? And it was menopause. You can't try getting a hot flash in the summertime, in the dead of summer, in the heat, 90-degree weather, and you get a hot flash. And you get a hot flash. It's the worst feeling in the world. One day I went to the mall with my daughter. This was last year. And she had actually went there to get my granddaughter an outfit for some occasion. But her friend was also with us. And so I said to my daughter, y'all go ahead. I'll just walk around and see if I find me something or whatever. But you know, y'all go ahead and call me when y'all ready. So I think I walked around and looked in a few stores. And then all of a sudden, I got this overwhelming feeling that sat me down. It sat me down. And I'm like, that's not you, G. I used to be able to shop for hours. I would be in them streets for hours shopping, and I couldn't do it anymore. I had to sit down, and I had to wait for my daughter to call me and say, Mom, you all right? You ready? We ready to go. And I sat there. I never sit down in the mall unless we're at the we're having lunch or something at the little cafeteria down there. Never had a reason to sit down. Always been a walker, always been able to stand for long periods of time. But I don't know what it was. It sat me the F down. It sat me down. And I'm like, I'm really going through menopause. And I don't want to be stuck. I don't want this, because this is not me. This is not who I am. Didn't want to exercise, didn't want to do nothing. And that's not me. That's not me. So I had to take my life back. And I had, like I said, I spoke to my GYN. She prescribed some medication. And girl, my husband can't keep up. You know what I mean? So G is back, right? But now if I can lose 20 pounds, I'm definitely back. I'm not even going to worry about the 40. I just want 20 off of me. And then I'll be back. I say this to say this. Ladies, come out that pride. Talk to your doctor. Have a conversation with her. I hope it's a her, because they're more understanding. Women are more understanding than men, especially men doctors. You know, they don't see life the way we see it. They only see the pages in the black and white. They don't really know our bodies the way we know our bodies. You know, it was always my business to always have a female doctor. I don't want no man doctor feeling on my breasts and looking at me all kinds of crazy. No, I want somebody more relatable. And so that's what I've always had, a woman doctor. And I share my body opinions with her, my thoughts, my feelings, and we figure it out. And I do a lot of reading. Anything I put in my mouth, medically, hey, I have to do my research on. And this medication, I'm not even going to put the medication out there, because I don't want nobody saying, well, this woman on YouTube said this medication worked, this, that, and the third. We as grown women, we have to sit down and have a conversation with our doctors. That's it. And figure out what's going to make us happy. Okay? But ladies, don't sit and fester in misery. Don't think that it can't be reversed, because it can. It can. With the proper medication, the proper diet, the proper lifestyle, it can. I'm an example of that. And I'll tell anyone that. Ladies, I notice a lot of women 50 and over. You see them drinking. You see them smoking cigars, even though they're not inhaling. But you see them puffing on cigars. You see them eating like gluts, you know, and thinking because I'm 55 and I'm fine, you know, it is what it is. I give you 5 more years. I give you 5 more years. You're going to break the F down. You're going to break down. So let's eliminate the drinking. Let's eliminate the smoking. Smoking cigarettes. Smoking cigars. If you want to smoke that ooh-wee, go on and smoke that ooh-wee. That shit relaxes you. I ain't even going to lie. That helped me a lot with my sleeping. Little, tiny little things to bite and put in your mouth so I can go to hell to sleep. That helped a lot. Now I don't need it. I don't need it. I can go to sleep on my own. Ever since I've been taking the medication, I haven't had a hot flash, a cold flash. That's what I say, G's back. Jerry's back. So, you're not in this alone. You're not. Women between their 40s and 50 and over We all are going through it. You cannot handle everything on your own. And what's crazy is, you know, my aunt always told me, you know, don't let them give you hormone replacements. Don't, because that's cancer causing and this and that and that and this. And I get that. And I read up on it and it's absolutely true. But like I said earlier, it attaches to certain organs, right? So you got to be mindful. Like I had a partial hysterectomy. So I don't really have too much to worry about as long as I continue to be monitored. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to always go when I need to go. Women will put off things for themselves to take care of their families or work or whatever. And you putting off. Now a year passes by, 2 years passes by, 3 years pass by before you even saw the doctor. And she told you every 3-4 months, let's see each other. Let's have a conversation about where we at. Let's run a couple of tests to make sure you good. And a lot of women don't do that. And I'm sure there's a lot of women my age.
Hey, love, you crossed my mind, so I wanted to say, hey, girl.
You know, a lot of women my age tend to put things off for their families, their loved ones. I'm sorry, I had got a message in my phone. But it's sad. You got to take care of yourself. You got to love on yourself. If that man ain't going to love you the way you deserve to, keep it pushing. Keep it pushing, queens. We are queens. We want to live to see our grandkids become adults. I want to see my granddaughter walk across that stage from college. I want to see my grandson walk across that stage in college. I want to see them give life. I want to see that. I was there when both of them was born. I saw my daughter bring life into this world. Why would you not want that? I want it so much. I want to live and enjoy my kids and my grandkids and just live life. And if taking a medication is going to bring me back to that, I'll take it. I'll take it. But continue to get monitored, just like your breasts. Women find out they have breast cancer. What, a year after you supposed to gotten your mammogram? That doesn't make sense. See, if you was going on a yearly basis, you wouldn't have, it would have been caught, or it could have been prevented. If you was going to the GYN yearly, it could have been caught. It could have been prevented. You understand what I'm saying? So I didn't have anybody, even though I did have a mother and I did have a father, but neither one of them showed me how to take care of myself. Neither one of them showed me, you know, if this is ailing you, you need to go to the doctor. All that stuff I learned when I gave birth to my daughter. By the time I had my daughter, I still was afraid of getting needles. I was 23 years old when I had my daughter. I was afraid. Afraid. You know? But once I had her, this one nurse enlightened me, because I was giving her a tough time about giving me a needle, right? So she went to give me a needle and I pulled back. And she's like, wait a minute. Did you just have a baby? I said, yeah. So you pulling back from a needle and you just had a whole person come out of you? Are you serious? This woman really said this to me. Really said that. And from that day she said that to me, that woke me up. Because I thought about it like, she's right. A little pinch. You pulling back from a pinch and you had a whole baby pushed out of you. Really? Okay. So that woke me up. That enlightened me. You know. So when it was time for me to take my daughter to the doctors, I went to the doctors just to make sure I'm good. Always been like that. So now this menopause is coming in. I'm just like, I need help. I don't know where to go. Never had a conversation with my mother about menopause. She's too far out in the street. My elders was just like, it's change your life. And that was all it was, because they didn't know. But I refuse anything that I go through, I share with my child. Because I don't want her to say, well, mommy never talked to me about this. But I do. So she's going to remember, oh, I remember when mommy said this. I remember what mommy said that. Let me go get myself checked out. You know, let me go get myself checked out. So don't be afraid. You know, don't be afraid. Go get that little shot or that little patch or that little pill. If it's going to make you back to who you are, not were, who you are, because that person never left. It's just the menopause that's trying to break you down. And if you allow it to break you down, it will. And I had to find myself. I had to say to myself, gee, this ain't you. My grandbabies is running around here playing, and I don't even know they exist. I'm sitting there dead at the TV until my husband gets up for work. I go upstairs, take a shower, and I go right to bed. That was my life. But I got that little patch. Woo! I'm ready to go now. I think I can conquer the world. I really believe I can conquer the world. So ladies, don't let this menopause take over you. And you know what's crazy? My god sister says she's not experiencing menopause, and we're the same age. She had more children than I did. I had 2. I think she had 5. 4 or 5. And she's telling me she's not experiencing nothing, which is so crazy to me. I don't know if she's in denial or if she's just not paying attention. But 55 years old, you're experiencing something. So, ladies, don't be afraid to go to the doctor. You know, talk. Let's talk. Let's figure this out. Menopause is not a death sentence. It's really not. It's all about control. And if you can control it, you're doing a damn good job. Get it under control. You may not be back to your 100% self, because I realize that I'm really not 100%, but I'm a hell of a lot better than I was last month. Literally last month. I can't sit still. I'm up. I can't sit still. I'm on the elliptical for almost an hour. I'm on the treadmill for almost an hour. I can't keep still. I have to say to myself, Jareen, okay, you did enough. Chill. My husband and I, we go trail walking in the park. You know, it's not a death sentence, and don't let it be. We're still beautiful. We're still queens. We're still attractive. At least that's what I'm told. So, don't let menopause be a death sentence. Don't sit there and fester in something that can be controlled with just a little medication. And it's all right. They do have herbs and stuff, but I've tried that. I've tried teas and stuff. They work, but you got to constantly keep drinking teas, buying these herbs, and it's a process with that. And sometimes you get a little discouraged because it's not always effective every day as if a medication would. And like I said, if you take the medication, right, continue to do what your doctor asks of you. If she asks, come in, I want to see you every 3 months for a year, go. If it takes some stress off of your life, go. Go. That's it. That's it. So, with that being said, everybody have a blessed day. I'm trying to do better on this YouTube. Like I said, the menopause had held me down. It sat me down. And now I'm ready to get back up and get back to who I am. Not who I was, who I am. I'm still Jerry. I'm still her. I'm still that flop. I'm still her. So, ladies, you're not in this by yourself. You're not in this by yourself. There's other alternatives, medically or herbally. Medically, it works faster. Herbally, it's going to take some time to really get in that body. And I still do a little herbal stuff on the side. I think we all, menopausal women, need to take ashwagandha. Ashwagandha and a powerful, powerful vitamin. And whatever your doctor prescribes, I'm not going to tell you what mine prescribed because I don't want no he say, she say, because I know how y'all rock on YouTube. So I'm not even about to do that. But ashwagandha and a powerful multivitamin. You're going to have energy for days. Energy for days. I cooked every day last week. Every day. Last week for me and my husband. Made no sense, but just had the energy to. Before, my husband's lucky if he can get one meal a week. Because I wasn't feeling it. I really wasn't. And he deserves so much more. But I just wasn't feeling it. And I had to explain to him, babe, I'm going through the menopause. And I had to explain to him, I don't want you to take what I'm saying personal, but this is what your wife is going through. I don't hate you. I don't dislike you. I dislike the situation I'm going through right now, and I can't control it. So until I figure out how to make my life a lot better, I'm sorry, you're going to have to suffer with me. And he did. And he understood. And that's what's up. That's what's up. You know, you're not in this by yourself. On my YouTube page, I'm not open for comments. People are not nice because something may be going right for you and it's not going right for them. They're going to try to make your life miserable, right? By saying things that they really know nothing about. I've experienced that already on TikTok. So, ladies, we in this together. We in this together. We in this together. Menopause sucks. It sucks. I haven't had a fan. I carry one in my bag, but I didn't have to use that little handheld fan I paid $30-something, $20-something for. I haven't used it. I have not used it. Talk to your doctor. It's summertime. It's time to be outside. Not holding no fan up against us because we're going through a hot flash. You go through a hot flash in the summertime in the dead of heat is the worst feeling in the world. It's the worst feeling in the world. It will sit you down. Sit you down. And I'm trying to be outside this summer. Even if it's with me and my husband. I'm trying to be outside. I got too much clothes to be sitting up there waiting for this body to go in them. I got things to do. We got things to do. I can't be sitting down. So, don't let menopause be a death sentence, is what I'm saying. Because there's help out there. There's help. And come from a woman who is very prideful. But I'm never going to deny help from a doctor because they are much knowledgeable than Google. They are a lot knowledgeable than Google. But if you're smart enough to know how to bring things together, you can do it. Let's keep our breasts good. Let's keep our vag good. Let's keep our insides, our heart healthy. Let's do what we got to do. That's it. Let's do what we got to do. I wish everybody well. I've been bumping my gums for 40 minutes. But I'm going to post this. I wish women between 40 and my age now, I wish everybody well. Talk to your doctors. Humble yourself. Don't be so prideful where you can't ask another woman who's your doctor, who's looked through your vag, who's felt your breast, who's looked in your ASS, who knows your body, and you can't sit down and have a conversation about what's going on with you mentally as well as physically. That's weird. That's weird. So we got to humble ourselves and put that pride to the side and have a conversation with our doctors, women to women, because I think we all women as women should have a woman doctor. They're more relatable than a man is. So try to change up your doctors and let's live. I want to live to see my grandkids walk across that graduation stage. I want to live to see my grandkids have kids. I want to be a great grandmother. That's what I want. I want to live that life my grandmother is living. My grandmother is still alive. She don't appreciate the fact that all her grandkids are grown and she has great grandkids, and those great grandkids is now getting ready to have kids. Don't appreciate it. But trust and believe, Father God, I do. I'm grateful for all that you've given to me. All. The good and the bad. The pretty, the cute, and the ugly. I'm about all that. So with that being said, peace and blessings, ladies. Let's get this menopause under control. Let's be beautiful and age gracefully. And love on our men, our boyfriends, our lovers. And let's live our life for as long as God allows us to. Peace and blessings.